Talk Shows family, is Nomsa here at Nkosi Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. So with me today, I'm with Amanda Murray, Grant Morel. How are you guys?
Pretty good.
Are you good, Amanda?
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. The topic today is projecting, not perfection. Act now, tomorrow may not be an option. We all want to be ready. We wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect vision of ourselves to show up. But what if perfect never comes? What if waiting is the very thing holding you back? So in a world of distractions and delay, there is power in moving forward, imperfection intentionally now. So this is a projection, not perfection, a mindset shift for anyone who is tired of waiting for the stars to align. Because tomorrow is not promised, but your action today, that's real. Let's dive into the topic, guys. Before we dive into the topic, Grant chose the topic. So Grant, what was on your mind when you chose the topic?
Well, thank you, Hamza. What was on my mind was when you just have some of those times in your life when you're just trying to plan everything out. This here, that there, this here. And when that doesn't happen and everything happens all at once, and you just gotta get stuff done quick, and you're really a little bit underprepared, not really ready, not in the mood, haven't got it all together, but the deadline's looming. And you just gotta get stuff done because it happens to all of us. Happened to me recently, and I thought, how do you do this? How do you go about doing it? If I had to explain it to someone else, how would I explain what you do? And I thought, you know what? Everybody has that. This could be a good subject. And that's how it came about.
I like it because it's like the end of the school year for me. So it's like no matter what, you just got to get everything done. And everyone's so stressed about report cards and stressed about finishing everything. And like I've been teaching since 2006, so for a very long time. And I used to stress a lot more during this time of year, but I don't stress so much. But I see the beginning teachers just like so stressed out about trying to get everything finished. And it always gets done. It always gets done because you have to. There's nothing else you can do. Like you figure it out. You figure out a way to get it all done, to get all the report cards in, to get all the assessment submitted, to get everything in, no matter what. And it's really interesting when we like just act like you just have to get it done. When you have a deadline, you have to get it done. And some people like wait till the very minute of the deadline to like finish things. And that's how they work the most effectively. And then other people are like planners and they finish things. But even me, who I think I'm a pretty organized person, I leave things till the last minute. I'll clean my house over writing my report cards any day. Because, but then there's that point where it's like, it's not an option. They just need to get done, right? And so I think that you're right. Sometimes we need to give ourselves our own deadline too. Like give yourself your own, like this needs to be done by here. And that's how you like self-motivate yourself to get to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. What do you think, Nomsa?
Yeah, I think I agree with you guys. There is no like perfect time. You just have to get things done. For me, if I say I'll go back to it, means I forget. That's when the deadline comes, that's when I start panicking and I have to do things. But once something comes through, I have to do it. If I don't do it that day, if I have more time, what I do is I put it on my phone as an alarm for tomorrow, and I know that I can't ignore it. I just have to do it and just take action and forget about it and just send it off and it's done. And take action because sometimes the fear, I think, is the one that causes people not to do things and procrastination, people not doing things like I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go around it. But I like this topic where it says projection is projected to you. There's no perfection, there's no perfect time. Act now, not tomorrow. because tomorrow it may not be an option. So I like it. It's very, very powerful. So yeah.
So, can you think of a time, any of you guys, can you think of a time when you had this, when there's loads of stuff to get done, you've really got to do it? It's not when you planned, I mean, like, things are coming along. It's just like the traffic jam in life and you've got to do it. Can you think of a time when you've had that? It's just been dumped on your lap, sort of thing?
Yeah,
Nobody's
totally.
tax return with me.
What was that answer?
Tax returns.
Tax returns? What's that?
Yeah.
When it's tax return time is what she said, I think.
Tax
When,
returns. Oh, tax
yeah,
returns.
when it's tax return time, and normally someone does whatever they do and then they bring it to me. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hand it over. I'm gonna get around it. And then when I start panicking last minute with the accountant to start panicking, what do you need? Have you got everything? Has everything been sent over? And sometimes it's normally the loans that I have not been sent over because sometimes they need evidence of the loans. And like, I've not received this. It's
Oh,
always that thing.
it's always that. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's always that thing where she's requesting, can you do this? Can you do this? But actually, I'm good at other things. But
Yeah,
with tax returns, mm, not so good. It's just so annoying to go and double check everything that has been written properly, the receipts, everything. And double checking, cross checking the bank accounts as well, bit by bit. It's just annoying
I'm
because
sorry.
that one is the CEO that has to do it. I cannot run away from it. That just to go before the document is sent to the accountant just to double check everything across with the bank accounts. I can't give it to somebody else.
Why can't you?
Huh?
Why can't you? Sorry, the coach in me is coming out here. Why can't you?
Because I think cause one more thing, like if someone is accessing, if I have to print the bank details and then send it to someone, so I prefer, by the time I'm printing and sending to someone, I'm wasting time. So I just, because my bank are linked in one place. So I just prefer to go and double check. If I have to print it and send it off, then I'll print it and send it off, then I know. Because by the time I'm printing, I might as well check.
Okay.
So
You,
it's something that is personally that I have to double check. I have to check it.
but if you had a bookkeeper, for example, they could prepare all that and send it to your
The
accountant.
accountant can actually do it because I pay for all the service. They can do it, but I like to learn these things, Grant, because next time, if they are not there, I like to learn. And then so I can't say if someone is asking me information, I can't say I don't know what is going on. So it's the part that I told the accountant that I need to learn how to do it, how to double check. Because the book the when you pay for the accountant, they do everything. But for me, I like to do it. Or you can easily have an app where they can just access the bank accounts. So I have an app as well. But if the agreement is, let me do the easy stuff. Because I find it, I think,
So you like doing it.
yeah, I think it's when many people, that's why they say the people took the money from the company, stole the money from the company, because most people, they feel they don't have to do that. It's an easy thing, but for me, I just prefer to do it. So I know what's going on. I do it, then I ask them to double check. But I do it myself.
There you go.
It's way, very easy.
It's- yeah, it's just if it's your thing or not. I know what you mean. It's just I always get someone. I mean, I could never have the time to do it. I haven't got the time to do it, so I'll just give it
I'm
to
sure you do have the time. What do you think,
you.
Amanda?
I have the time to do that.
Well, it depends what you want to do, what you want to spend doing your time with, right? Like the best coaches say to like allocate as much as you can to other competent people so that you don't have to do it. So it frees you up to have the best or the most amount of time that you can have doing what you specialize in, right? But if it's something that you want to learn, then like go ahead. That's something like I do my taxes because I want to learn it because I think as a teacher, we should know how to do our taxes so that we can teach other children to like do their taxes, right? So that people are competent like members of society. But that's my own like purpose for doing my own taxes. But I think that if you are in business and you're like, I have so much to do on my plate, I'm just gonna hand it off. Like my taxes are pretty simple, right? Because I'm like, here's my book royalties, here's my teacher wage, and like it's not complex. But if I had my own business with a bunch of employees and stuff, I would totally hand that off to an accountant. It would not even be a second thought.
Yeah.
So
I see a lot
yeah,
of businesses drowned by doing it themselves. A lot of they just drown. They
yeah.
and the sales go down because they're doing that rather than anything else. But it's like you say, it's what you enjoy doing. If you enjoy doing it, I mean, it's good to have an understand. I agree, it's good to have an understanding of it, and I have an understanding, and that's it. But it's like,
I don't do the bookkeeping stuff. I do the checking, the double checking the receipt, whether they correspond with what is written, the bank statement, everything. That's what I check. Whatever has been deducted, if someone is claimed for clothing or someone is claimed for transport, this is where I have to check the receipt
uh,
and what they've claimed. Is that real or not real?
so when this time comes up for you, and it comes up every year, and it comes up at the same time, a bit like Christmas happens at the same time every year. When it happens, what could you do to plan ahead so that it's not this big traffic jam for you?
What I could do actually, what I could do is I'm good at memorizing my spending. I know what I've spent, so I don't have to double check it. Anything that I don't have to spend on business because I'm avoiding hassle, I don't. Like buying lunch, I buy lunch myself. I don't use business. I'm supposed to, but I don't. Because the small receipt, like going back, like if I buy lunch for £3, but if I'm meeting clients, if I buy big lunch, it goes to business. So if I start doing bookkeeping, anything that is complicated, I know what comes out, like business wise, the transaction, like direct debit, is in my head. I know what comes out. All I have to do is screen read. I think I need to do it 1 week before grant. That will help.
There you go.
Just like set a fake date in
But
your
monthly.
calendar. It has
Yeah,
to
when I need to do
be.
it 1 day before.
You can do it
But I like
monthly.
to do it
Just do
because
it
it
month
helps
by
me.
month.
The reason why I wanted to learn it is because if someone is starting a new company, this is where my knowledge comes in. Like Eunice was starting dating diamonds. I had to help them set up everything because them they pay people they don't know anything.
Yeah, get specialists. Yeah, probably my advice.
Yeah, so they pay. So for me, what made me learn is when I was starting, I asked it to create a business plan, cash flow focus, and I asked her, how much can you help to create that? Altogether, I think it was 6,000. I was like, okay, I'm going to learn it. So I had to learn it. So if you're creating a business plan, I can do it. Business
They
plan,
they paid you
cash,
6,000 for that.
cash flow focus, I can do it.
They paid you 6,000 for that.
No, they wanted me to pay. So that resulted me wanting to hire somebody to teach me.
All right.
And then my friend voluntarily took his time to teach me for 6 months as well.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't make any excuse.
So, How about doing it monthly?
That's perfect.
That'd work. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to like Grant, what you're actually teaching me is the cost of waiting, not taking
Yeah.
like doing things like last minute. So yeah, maybe every month that will help.
That'd be easy because if you was behind, you'd be just 1 month behind, right? That was it.
Yeah,
So, not, I mean, late, but I mean, you'd only have 1 month to catch up on and for the deadline. But you know what? Yeah, you're right. This is what's called the cost of inaction.
yeah,
And when it comes to purchasing things, you always tell, like in business, you get a lot of inexperienced people say, how much is that going to cost? Experienced people will say, well, how much is that going to make me? Okay. And if people don't do it, they're stuck in, you see, it's stuck. They're stuck in a rut here. They want to be there, but they're here. And what's in between it is getting the coaching to take them there. And they look at the cost and say, oh, it's a lot of money. Compared to what? Compared to waiting. I mean, if you're going to pay, I don't know, 1,000, 10,000, and you're going to make 8, 7, 10 times that amount, why would you not do that? I would do that all day long and then do the same thing again and again and again and again. Right? Obvious, that's how you grow. But people don't. They get caught up in the price tag and think that they do, there's a few things. They either don't believe you, and often they do believe you by the time they get to speak to you. They don't believe in the products, which they often do. One of the hidden things they don't talk about is they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in themselves to implement it. That's one of the big things. Self-doubt. Um, but if you look at it, they're here. They want to be there. That's in the middle, and they don't do it. They think, well, maybe it seems a lot of money. Maybe I'll just try to work it out by myself, which is the most expensive thing you can ever do. I spent a fortune in the early days trying to work it out myself. It was the most stupid thing I'd ever done. It took a long, long time and a lot of money and a lot of energy. Most people spend all the money, get nowhere, run out of energy, and give up. And that's why most people fail. But if you do it, as you say, you plan it properly and get professional people in to help, coaches, whatever, mentors, all those people, and don't be afraid to pay. The more you pay, the better you get. It really is. You do that, you get there quicker, you get there in less expense because you're not making so many mistakes. You're making it way quicker, much more slower, and less fatigue. And you enjoy the journey. And the fees are, well, I mean, you've got to check with your accountant, check with your country, but in many cases, the fees are tax deductible. So why would you not do that? Again, it's good thinking versus bad thinking. Right? And that's it. It's the quality of, life is defined by the quality of questions that you ask yourself. And that's the way it's a level of thinking. A lot of people learn new software, learn new things, but what they don't upgrade is their ability of thinking. They don't upgrade the quality of thinking. And that's what it's all about. So yeah, if you can get it in earlier. So it brings us back to the subject of what I was thinking about. How do you do it when you want to project and not perfection? Perfection makes poverty. It makes many, many people very, very poor. Perfection. I know a few perfectionists who are penniless. Penniless. They're perfectionists and nobody's even heard of them because they never got their product, their service, their book out there. It's still in their apartment somewhere, right? That's it. So, and I got someone yesterday I was coaching and they're making a book which isn't perfect, but they'll make a version 2, a follow-up. Yeah, later. Because it will improve, because products will change, service will change, ideas will change, concepts will change. In a couple of years, they just update it. And when they update it, they've already done 85% of the work. Right? Easy. The first time is the hardest, and that's what they're doing. So project, not perfect. So if you act now, because tomorrow may not be an option, and boy, oh boy, how true is that? Quite often that option, it comes up now. If great opportunities come up, often they come up because something's gone wrong, someone's dropped out. This is it. Are you ready? Go do it now. I'm doing something tomorrow. I'm going to be critiqued on my presentations tomorrow. Yeah. And the whole idea is if someone picks up the phone and says, can you do it now, tomorrow, are you ready to go? And if I'm not, I'm going to be grilled. I'm going to be really grilled to make sure I'm ready to go. And so there's a whole formula which I've got to follow to get it all done. Not only me, but my colleagues as well. So we're going to pay to get grilled, okay, tomorrow, and talk to go up from where we are up to the next level. Okay. And it's all of these factors are in line because you've got to be ready in life. As ready as you need to be. Doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to be good enough. Okay. Now, so when it comes to it and things happen, these traffic jams happen, like Nomsa's tax bill comes in and or tax and she's got to get it all done in time, or those school reports for Amanda, or those two projects together. So I've got two conferences, really close to each other next month. So I'm away from most of the vast majority of next month. Not the way I planned it, but the organisers, one's gone back, one's gone forward a little bit. So there's not much time in the middle. How do I get everything done in between? Okay, this is it. One of my key points here will be to get in professional people to help you. So if you want help with something, I use my telephone book in my phone, and I've got my list of people I know I can help with certain things. I have groups of people who mastermind with me. I'm a specialist on this, they're a specialist on that, and we put our heads together. So rather than spending 15 hours trying to work it out myself, I can talk to them and get it done in 3 hours. And that's the whole idea. That's how I get things done, to project and not perfect, just to get good enough to get it done in time. Because here's the thing. Once you get something good enough, you've heard the expression that the map is not the territory, right? And it's true. It's an impression of reality. So you practice something, you get it perfect, you take it out into the world's changed. It doesn't fit. Exactly. You took too long. The world's kept turning while you've been perfecting this thing that the world needs. By the time you bring it out, either two other companies have brought it out before you and taken all the customer base, or you get there and it's a little bit jaded, it's a little bit out of date. It's not quite what they want. It's sort of what they wanted a couple of years ago, but you wasn't around, was you? You was too busy perfecting it a couple of years ago. So there's a couple of schools of thought. You can perfect, which allegedly, and I know what you Windows people are going to say out there, but I was going to say allegedly, Apple perfect, and I know you're going to say they don't, but that's the ethos behind it. But Microsoft just get it out there quick. They're the first to market, but of course, many patches, many things to have to repair and fix, but they're first to market. Apple tend to be slower to market, but more perfected. But they've got very, very different target audiences. Very, very different indeed. Okay. All right. So think about that. Apple is almost like a cult. Yeah. But you won't really get that with Microsoft. It's more practical. And they're both good. They're both good. They both solve the problem, but in slightly different ways. But it's a school of thought. But what do you need to do? When time's not an issue, you can perfect. But time's always running out, and you never know how much time you've got. And these days, there's more and more things to do. Sometimes you've got to get things done quickly. So my advice would be to get that bank of people you need, that A list of people you need stuck behind you, the ones you can phone at any time and get an answer quickly. They're the ones I'm talking about. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, will be to do what? Discover what you're really good at. And obviously, you said you're really good at some things, etc., right? Discover what you're good at and make yourself available to your colleagues so that they can call upon you for that. And that means you can call upon them for this. That's one way you can get a lot of things done really quickly. That's my method. What about you, Amanda?
I like that. Sorry, I just was sneezing. My allergies are acting up a little bit. As you're like talking, I was thinking about when like life throws you a curveball, right? Like you can have this plan, you can have the coach, you can have everything, and then life throws you a curveball. And like my example from my own life was like, okay, I got into my master's degree, right? I was teaching full time. I got into my master's. It just was like getting married. And I was like, okay, I'm going to like do my master's. It'll take me 2 years. And then maybe like after that, like I'm also 30 at the time. And then I'll like have a baby and then I'll have like I'll be done and then maybe I'll become a principal or assistant principal, right? Or whatever. And life throws you a curveball. So like after I'd finished my first course, I ended up pregnant because I was like married and just and anyways, so I was like, oh my God, how am I going to finish my master's? Well, life just threw me this curveball of like, I'm having a baby. Fast forward, I'm like, okay, well, I have up to 6 years to finish this. So I can like extend the amount of time that it's going to take me. It's just life has thrown me a curveball, so I'm not expecting that. Then I get about halfway done my master's, like I'm almost finished, and I end up getting divorced because it's a very unhealthy relationship. And so I'm still like a couple courses out of finishing, but I'm like, how am I going to get this done? And it just is like, when life throws you those curveballs, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can still like, if there's something that you really want to commit to and finish, you'll find a way. I literally had a toddler, like a 2-year-old, as I'm writing papers and trying to finish. And I would just take my daughter out to my aunt's farm and she would go play on the farm all day with my aunt. And I would sit at their kitchen table and I would work on my computer. And that's literally how I finished my master's degree, was like, I would just be like, I need help. And my aunt was like, she owned her own business, so she was at home certain days of the week. And so any day that she was home, I'd be like, we're going to the farm. And I'm like also like a single mom by that point in time, right? So, and then two, as I'm finishing my master's degree, I'm also like moving out of my house and building a new house and trying to navigate the separation agreement. And so it's just like sometimes you have to just trust yourself that when life throws you a curveball, tomorrow's not an option. Today. It's not like I'll figure that divorce out in like a couple of years. It's like I have to figure this out now. And I only have a certain window of time that I can like finish this degree. And I only have a certain window of time that my kid's going to be little that I can spend this time with them. And so when we plan things, like I had planned to like, okay, after I've taught for 2 years, I'm going to apply to get into my master's degree, and then I'm going to do my master's degree, and then I'm going to do this. And then life threw me the curveball of like having a child and like getting divorced. And so sometimes things happen that we don't expect, and it's like you can't have perfection no matter how much of a perfectionist you are. You just have to figure it out. And it's also like Grant said, is seeking help from people that you know can help you so that you're not completely exhausting yourself and it taking you way more time. So if I had just like been like, okay, I'm going to take care of my daughter and I'm going to get all my work done and we're going to spend all day together and then I'm going to just work at night, I would have completely burnt myself out. But I was like, she loves going to the farm. She gets to play with the kitties and the horses and everything. And then I can just sit and I can have 3 hours to myself to like work. She's totally taken care of and my aunt gets her baby time, right? And it's like a win-win for all of us. And so you sometimes have to think about like, how is it that I'm not going to be completely perfect, but I'm going to like navigate this roadblock that life has thrown at me so that I can complete everything that I wanted to complete, or that I can get through everything that I need to get through. And sometimes we need life to throw us those curveballs so we realize how strong we are and that we can overcome every roadblock that's thrown in our way. That's just my like navigation of this, and the in like it like sometimes life just throws you something and you're like, how am I going to deal with this? And then 20 years later, 13 years later or whatever, you're like, oh, I got through that and that was really hard,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like it made me realize life doesn't have to be perfect. Not everything turns out the way that you plan it.
Well,
And seek help where you need to, otherwise you're going to just burn yourself out completely.
you got it. You said it. You said it. There you go.
Yeah, life is not straightforward. I always tell people that it's not really a straight path, and if we're looking for that straight path, it's not really like that. So you have to, like Amanda, you had your big why. So that big why pushed you to do things that you wanted to do to still continue with your plan instead of waiting. Some people they just give up, and I wish that people had that kind of energy of not giving up. If you know your big why, even when life it throws you with whatever it throws you, like Amanda said, just go for it and just keep going. As long as you find that one person that believes in you, and start with what you have. Amanda started with asking her family, can you help? And that one person, her auntie said, yes, I can help. And you don't have to have better tools or to say, I'm gonna wait until I have the money. She would have easily said, I'll have to wait until I get a childcare, pay childcare. But she was like, okay, I'm gonna ask for help, and you did. And I think it's all about confidence as well. So if you are really, really confident within yourself and you want to go for what you want to do, I think you get things done. And for me, that is the spirit that I have within me. I don't have time to say I can't do this or I can't do that. I cannot be around people that blame, like if people has an energy of blame or energy of feeling sorry. For me, I have this attitude that regardless of what I'm facing right now, I don't know what my tomorrow is going to look like, but if I don't take action, my tomorrow will still be look like today. So meaning things will get worse. So I have to take action and I have to do things. There's no such thing as a perfection, waiting things to be perfect. I just have to go for it, regardless of what I have to go for it. And that's the mentality that I have. Sometimes I have family members that looks at me and say, Nomsa, you are a dreamer. When I tell people that I'm gonna do this, people say, Nomsa, you're a dreamer or you're this, but now I don't talk. I go quiet,
Yeah,
I just go for it.
that's the trick. That's the trick
Yeah.
of it. Don't.
Even with the person that I'm dating, I don't talk to them because if I talk, they say you are a dreamer. So to me, I do research and do everything, the necessary hard work that needs to be done. And this is when I'm ready to take action, I'll go and say to the person that I'm dating, by the way, honey, this is what I'm doing. By the time they try to talk me out because they're scared, me, I've passed that. So it's implementing time. I used to do that to like your Hope's dad, but now he does not talk. If I tell him this is what I'm doing with the kids, he says, okay. He knows I'm bonkers, I'm gonna go and do it anyway. So, but before I used to be like, but I like the idea, like the topic, Grant, and I like the idea of, Amanda, when you say what you went through, you had all these perfect plans. The saddest thing about it, our plans is we even write them down in our diary, we record them. And then when things don't go according to plan, you're like, okay.
Well, this is why a lot of people will say they don't make a business plan. They'll make a business map
Yeah.
because it's going to change. It's going to change when you get there. You map
Even a life map. I feel like we need a life map that's just like
Yeah.
we do.
navigating all the twists and turns and what
Yeah.
you expected versus where you ended up
Maybe a couple of roads blocked off along the way. You have to
and
divert round. Yeah.
yeah, those roadblocks, right? That just set you in a different direction. But I think sometimes too we can have like the best laid plans and like I said, and then a divorce happens or there's a death in the family or there's an illness or something that just like throws those plans completely off course. But then when you look back on it 20 years later, you're like, wow, that was so fantastic that that happened, even though when I was in the midst of it, it was like a really hard time. And whenever I look back on like those things that I've been through, I'm like, it wasn't perfect, but it was exactly the lessons that I needed to learn in order to grow and become a better version of myself. And so sometimes when we're in this like perfectionist mode, we like think that we already know what it is that we need. And really, we have no idea what it is. And I like that idea of like, here's my like planned destination, but I'm going to take this journey along the way. And it really is a journey to get us to our destination. And that journey might not look at like how we expected it to look, but it is the journey that helps us grow and become better at business, or become a better teacher, become a better parent. And like I also think like what we project onto what is like the perfect life, or that like thing that it is that we want, and then we find out later that that projection isn't actually what we wanted or needed at all. And I think that's like almost this epiphany lesson in and of itself.
You got it. There you are. There you are. Yep, it's an epiphany, and you realize at some point in your life things happen this way. Um, yeah, I just had a bit of an epiphany while you were saying it, actually, about something about relationships. There you go. Just came to it. Just I noticed a pattern in people, and yeah, yeah, it's how people, and you can save time if you recognize these patterns. You can save time, and that's how you can get things done quicker. Could you say that's a waste of time? That's not going to work. I've seen the pattern before. That won't work. Or you can say that will work. That can work. I've seen this pattern before. That can work. You can recognize patterns. Again, as a coach, what you're doing is looking at patterns. When I'm tracking people's success, I'm trying to find the shortest route to them to get to success. You know, with the learning, the understanding, the self growth, and the business growth. That's what I'm trying to do. And find the easiest, less fatiguing way of doing it for them, because people are different, right? People are different. What works for one doesn't necessarily work with the other. So I'm trying to find what works for them or for that group of people if it's a group coaching thing. But you do realize that there's certain patterns. And this is when I look at their figures, I look at their numbers, I look at their behaviors, and I see patterns. And some patterns just ain't going to work. You say doing that is not going to work. It's not going to get you there. You need to adjust your thinking, adjust your attitude, adjust your exercise, adjust your health. You know, your exercise, your diet, your routine, your behaviors, your thoughts around people. Change those, you change your reality, and that's what it comes down to. But yeah, but you've got to see the patterns first. Are they on a good pattern or a bad pattern? And most people, we're all a combination of both. We've got some good things going for us and some not so great things going for us. It's a question of awareness of seeing those. I always use this word awareness. The first rule to fixing it is awareness. So awareness when these deadlines are looming. What do you use? What system do you use when these things are coming? Is it you just put it in a diary? You just wait for two people bang on the door and say, "Where the hell is it?" And you're like, "Where's what? I forgot." Do you wait for that? Do you have it in the diary? Do you have bits of post-it notes stuck everywhere? Do you have a color coded diary? Do you have alarms? What do you have? What do you use? How do you do it? And how do you map your day out to facilitate time to do these things? All these things help because when the unexpected things just drop on your lap, the more organized you are, the more you can accommodate these things and get them done. And here's the thing, you want to get it done with the least stress because you can get things done. And sometimes when people get things done, you see the condition that they're in after. They're wrecked. They're absolutely wrecked and they're not enjoying their life and they're just pulling themselves down. If you did it with a little bit more foresight, you can get things done a lot smoother, enjoy the journey, and end up less fatigued, which means you're ready to go again. So think about ways that you could do it. There's a few clues in what I said there, but that's my way of doing it. Amanda, how do you spot the kids? The ones who are good at planning, the ones who are last minute, the ones who are brilliant at getting it done last minute, and the ones who are really bad at getting it done last minute. I mean, you could say, you said earlier that some people get it done last minute and some people are planners. Could we argue that the people who get it done last minute are planning? They've got a lot of things going on and they've planned. That doesn't have to be done by them. So I'll do it at that point.
Yeah, I think I struggle with the structure of school a lot sometimes because I think that there's like kids that have so many great skills and yet it's not like something that we're able to mark in the
Yeah.
system. Like, right? It's like I have to mark like reading, writing, math, social studies, science. But then there's those like skills of communication, and there's those skills of collaboration that aren't necessarily ones that we can be like, they're a great collaborator or they have really great communication skills. Those are not something that I'm allowed to like mark, and yet I see it, right? And I have like this one little girl in my class who's like always up and wandering around and talking to everybody. I'm like, oh man, she is going to have to do something in sales. She's going to have to be some sort of like socialite that's like the life of the party and just like always talking to everybody, right? And those people, like that's a skill. That's a skill that so many people don't have. And it's not a skill that we teach in school, but it's a skill that's like almost innate in some people.
Soft
And I
skill.
think, and but like to get any schoolwork done is like pulling teeth with her because she's like all over the place. And I've had multiple kids like this throughout my teaching career where it's like they need to be in something where they can talk all the time and where they can be the life of the party and they can get to socialize because that's their gift, right? And so getting their schoolwork done might not be a priority, but when we look at life skills, that might actually be something that they're going to be really, really good at down the road. And so I wish there was ways to like channel that energy in an effective way. And that would also, I could also relate that to their parents, right? Like they have really great communication and talking skills, and yet and like super artistic. I can comment on the artistic skills, but I can't comment on those like skills of just like being able to and being so bubbly and fun and
Those
right.
soft skills, right? Those soft skills, which are so important.
They are so important because like there's kids that are like brilliant, like you said, at math or something, and then like nobody ever finds out about them because they're they have no other skills other than like they're gifted in this area of math or science
And the
and
others went, well, the others went on to
but they
university,
have no way
a
to
degree in
get that
bubbliness.
out to the world, right? And so it's almost like those two skills of like this person that's able to get everything out to the world but really struggles with the academic piece. They need to like join forces in a way, and it's interesting to watch just because kids have these skills from like such a young age, right? There are kids that are like perfectionists already in their schoolwork. There are kids that just rush through their schoolwork so that they can do something else because they're like, well, whatever, right? And then there's kids that are like, I'm gonna do my best job on everything all the time. And it's almost like they are just born with this natural inclination to either like work really hard or to be the talker in the room or to be the one. But then there's kids that genuinely struggle and they need that extra support to like get them. But there's even those kids, they have like special skills that I can't necessarily mark in school, but it's like I'm like, I see how great you are and how smart you are, even though reading and writing in grade 5 is really, really hard for you, you have these other skills. And so, like an example of this is I have one little boy in my class who's really struggling academically, but then on the computer, oh man, showed me so many really cool things. And we were doing this project on Canva, and it's a group project where they have to take like make a video essentially on Canva with their facts about living systems. And theirs was the circulatory system, I think, but in their like title slide, they've literally taken the Bill Nye the Science Guy like video, and then they like removed the background from another kid video, and they like spun one of the kids around in a chair and removed the background and then placed his head on top of the Bill Nye the Science Guy video. And so this introductory slide is like almost like a video that you would see on TV. It's so cool. And I was like, how did you do that? And like it's just amazing, but it's like you didn't do the facts about the circulatory system. You spend all your time doing this like really amazing tech stuff, which is really cool. But it's that honing in on your specialty, right? Is a really great skill.
Wow. It's
Yes.
amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's good to actually, but my question is, are we human beings limited with our intelligence when it comes to our intelligence?
Mm.
I'm not sure if we are limited.
I
With
don't think not
Yeah,
with the
probably.
research on how we can rewire our brains and how we can like create more neural pathways in our brains
Mm.
at all. There used to be thought that like there was a thought system a long time ago that was like we're capped at our IQ, and really that's not true at all. And there we actually can create more neural pathways all the time as we age too. And so there's that school of thought where we're capped at our capacity, and our IQ isn't necessarily true anymore. They've found research on
Yeah.
creating more pathways, and it's that repetition, and also we can train our brains to rewire. And if you maybe don't have like necessarily a math brain or whatever, if you keep practicing, you actually can build those skills. And so that school of thought has really shifted with the research that they have.
yeah, I think we can rewire our brain to do the things. The minute you tell the brain that you can't, that brain agrees with you that I can't do it. But if because I've noticed with myself, if I want to do something, I'll just sit in front of the computer. Sometimes it's something that I've no experience, that I've never done it before. I will just sit in front of the computer over and over and over. And I'll just say, God, help me to do it. And I'll just do it. And then I'm like, oh, so I'm actually not limited. I can do things more than I say I can. It's like anything else. I think if you tell yourself, because we learn different, but with the school, they have one system for everybody. So, but I think like Amanda, you're saying that there are some people who are gifted in so many ways, and they're gifted in this, they're gifted in maths, they're gifted in that. But then there are other things that, like when they do it, they struggle. But sometimes when someone is struggling, that means maybe there is something that has been spoken to them that they can't do it, or they've made up their mind that I can't do that. But for me, I find that we actually can create a pathway. Like there's some things that I do, like since I've decided to actually work on myself mind-wise, work on my brain and cleansing myself and fasting. I'm realizing actually I can do things that I never thought I can do. So I think we are not like when I was saying to Grant, for me, like when I was saying sometimes I ask my accountant if I can learn some things. For me, if I do something, anything that I do that is my eyes see, I can't forget it. So meaning if I have to go back to do it over, I would just have to do it. Or sometimes I just ask the Holy Spirit, let's swap minds. I just say straight away, my mind is just not working. Give me your intelligent mind. And then he gave me his intelligent mind. Then I do it. It's like my dance. If I play music and practice, there's no point
Right.
practicing my dance. Choreograph it. I can't do that. Because if the music plays, I'm an artist, I go back, I create something else that I did not practice. So for me, it's like writing. I'm like writing. Being an artist, it means you have a vision, you're writing as you go. So if I say I'm gonna do it, but there's one word that I have it in my mind that I can't. But there's one thing as well that I do. When I meet people, I don't show people who I am. My original self, it does not allow me to show them who I am. I just go, I have to blend in. I can only show you who I am if I need to help you. That's the person I've always been. So I was talking to my mom the other day. There's one thing that I kept doing at home. My mom kept saying, "Why did you do that? Why did you do that? Why didn't you do that?" So I was explaining to her yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I said to my mom, the things that I do sometimes people don't understand, even myself, because I might be sitting here and a voice comes in, the Holy Spirit says, do that. That means I have to do it. So I was explaining to my mom that there are some things. Do you remember when I used to do this? Or sometimes my mom, I think once my mom said to me, go and stay with my uncle. My uncle is is a teacher like Amanda, very, very creative. And something he said, go back now, like go back, and it means my destiny was being altered. So I had to go back and rewrite it. And my mom was like, why don't you want to go and stay with your uncle for a little bit? Why don't you want to do this? I'm like, Mommy, this is what I have to do. This is my destiny. So she came to understand and she went quiet. And I was like, I'm not guided. I don't guide myself. So how many people, everyone has an angel grant. How many people who actually talk themselves out and say, I can't do this, but while they can
Oh,
do.
all the time. All the time.
Yeah, because you are a coach. If you look at it, as coaches, we allow ourselves to be who we are meant to be.
Yeah.
Even if the road is tough, even when life does not make sense, we fall, but we pick ourselves up, we allow ourselves to stand. But there are some people who could be doing better things, but they're like, I can't do this. I don't think I'm cut up for it.
Yeah. You haven't got to be ready. You haven't got to be ready. You've just got to want to do it. You'll learn it along the way because if you look at anyone who did anything at the beginning, you know, where they are to the beginning, I was at an open mic session yesterday. Was it last night?
Amanda, did you check the time?
Yeah, we're all gonna split, I think, in a second. But it's yeah, the great thing was you see people and how quickly they develop, how quickly they get better if you're doing something consistency. One of the key aspects is consistency. And again, if it comes to all these things happening at once, project if you're doing it consistency, you're in a habit of getting things done quick. Housewives are really good at getting things done quick because they've got a lot of things to balance and they just get things done. Um, again, difference with men and women, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Women will talk about things, men just get stuff done. They do. Women
No,
have a,
not every woman, Grant. I don't talk about things.
you don't talk about things?
No.
Really?
For me, if you hear me talking about what I'm going to do, it means I'm not going to do it.
So you mean to say, like, are you one of these sort of people like you tell your husband and you say you try to fix your husband's problems? You said, I don't want you to fix it. I just want you to listen. Is it a role
No,
reversal?
I can't fix anybody's problem. That's the problem. You can't.
You can't. You can only suggest things to people. You
You
can
can suggest it.
only,
The reason what people make mistake is when somebody tries to change people. I don't do that kind of thing. Me, I don't.
no.
I can pray for somebody, for God to go and put that mind in the person if it's their destiny, but I cannot physically. I can suggest, but I can't because it's a waste of time.
Some people really want to change and are
Yeah, it's a waste of time trying to make someone change. It's waste.
or somebody said to me once, but to get different results, doesn't that mean you've got to change your mindset? And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, you have. So you've got to be willing to do that. You've got to be willing to, and that's why I always ask the question when you coach someone, you've got to determine is that person coachable? That's it. They've got to have skin in the game. They've got to take responsibility. I said to someone last week, and they said, can you guarantee results? I said, absolutely not. No,
no,
no. I said, it'd be really unethical of me to say, how do I know you're even going to turn up? Yeah. It's like paying a gym membership. Can you guarantee I'll get results?
Yeah.
You don't turn up, no. If you sit there and talk in a corner all the time and don't do any exercises, no, you won't get any results, you know. But if you sit there and do it, yeah, you're going to get some results. Yeah, you
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, of course. But I can't guarantee you're going to do it. You've got to take some responsibility to get that done. And that's one of the biggest learnings for people.
And there's the other thing as well, like these people that do marketing, like you go to their event and they try to sell you to be. Amanda, do you want to say something before you go?
Oh, I really have to go because I need to
Me
get
too.
to.
Okay, we'll see.
But
So,
I really love this where it's just like go and get it
Go
done.
get it. You go get it.
And then also just like ask for help when you need it. But I need to go. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
take care, Amanda. Yep. And as one of my friends says, GSD, get SHIT done.
Yeah, what I was saying, Grant, you have these people that are selling products and they try to sell you products. But for me, because I'm very, very smart, I know that I'm not supposed to work with everybody.
Oh,
So sometimes, yeah, sometimes the people they'll come and try to sell me and say, but you got to take action, you got to do this. I'm like, you're actually forcing me
yeah.
to work with you, which I don't want to work with you because if I'm meant to work with you, the Holy Spirit will speak to me and say, this is your helper, but you're not my helper. So I'm not meant to work with you. So sometimes I politely say to people, I'm not ready. And then they'll keep pushing and say, but you have to take, I'm like, but now you're doing sales. I'm not meant to work with everybody.
That's
There are certain people who are meant to take our lives to the next level.
yeah.
But then there are certain people who like they don't really necessarily our helpers, but we can learn from them and leave it there.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether you believe in that, but for me,
I do
that
believe. I mean, like
yeah,
that method of pushing people really works for some people. So that resonates for some people. Some people want that. They actually want and need somebody pushed. And I think most people need it to an extent, but some people do it a lot. And there's different kinds of coaching when it's like that. Some coaching is like that. Not my kind of coaching isn't like that. But some people specialize on being like that, and it works for some people, but not for everyone. And as you said, it's not for everyone to work with everyone. You've got to find a
no,
resonate with, who bring out the best in you. And that doesn't necessarily mean to say they'll give you the easiest time, but will they bring out the best in you for the best so that you can project and not perfect, and so that you can act now when
yeah,
an option. And that's it. That's my final words. You've got to find the people who can bring that. And that's comes back to my idea about having those people around you. You can help them, they can help you so that you can get things done quicker.
yeah. And also for me, I think what I'll leave you guys with the stop comparing. Comparison paralyzes the chapter of your life or is a thief of joy. So never, ever, ever compare your chapter with somebody else's chapter. Accept your imperfection, and that's important. Create accountability partners. My accountability at Nkosi Talk Shows is Dr. Bigot. It was Kamal. It was Shireen. But Shireen, she's so strict. So I had to go with the Dr. Bigot. So with Shireen, I go to her when I needed to double check my phone or whatever I'm doing. But
And she's not
she's
strict.
so,
She's not strict. She's not strict.
who Dr. Bigot?
Yeah, she sounds strict.
She's strict, but as long I finish my work.
Okay, right.
She has this lecture mindset of a person where you agree to do this work and then she brings more work and then so with the Dr. Bigot, as long we agree this week this is what I'm doing and then we remain there. But with Shireen, it's got to be done in a lecture way. So that's why I was like, no, you can hold on a minute, Sherry.
Sometimes we run away from the people that we need the most.
Yeah, so no, she's still there. I do ask her every now and then. She's still there, but I think I'm gonna have her as my accountability for my uni because I've just signed up for my master's.
Have you?
Yeah,
Which subject?
science and psychology.
Watch out.
Yeah, I love psychology. I never get fed up of it. So yeah, I'm good. I'm just gonna do. I'm graduating in September. It's like after that, and then I'm taking my master's. I think
Ah,
I'm starting in July. This July next in 2 weeks' time.
that's fantastic. No,
I signed up yesterday.
I've really got to head out. I've really got to go.
I got to go as well.
But that's fantastic. Congratulations on that, and I wish you every success. And well, brilliant. So I hope everybody's got something from today.
Yeah, I hope so.
Perfect, not perfect, because
So, guys, we have two groups, Ngozi Talk Shows and Unique Billionaire Minds. Unique Billionaire Mindset. Please do go and join the group, be part of the family, and go to the website as well, www.hseia.coach. Please do sign up for coaching and for love as well. If you're looking for relationship, there are two different places where you can sign up. And please do subscribe to our channel. God bless, guys. And I